In today's video, I'm going to guide you through the process of downloading, setting up, and running a React Native Expo example app that uses the Ditto Edge SDK. This app connects to a Ditto Cloud configured with the MongoDB Connector and showcases a list of movies sourced from the MFlix sample dataset provided by MongoDB Atlas. Before we dive into the code, let's make sure you have everything you need to follow along. You'll need a Ditto Portal account, Git installed, MongoDB Atlas account with the sample data installed in it, the Ditto MongoDB Connector set up and verify that it works, the Android SDK installed if you plan on running applications on Android devices, and Xcode with the command line tools installed if you plan on running the app on iOS devices. Finally, you'll need Node.js, npm, and any other tools used by React Native and Expo installed. If you haven't yet set up a Ditto Portal account, created a MongoDB Atlas instance, or installed the MFlix sample data, no worries. I have a link to a separate walkthrough video in the description that covers the setup step by step. I highly recommend completing those prerequisites before continuing. In this video, I'll be using Visual Studio Code as my development environment, but feel free to use any IDE you're comfortable with to do React Native and Expo development. I'll walk you through pulling down the code from GitHub, running the application locally, and connecting it to your configured Ditto and MongoDB environments. By the end of this video, you'll have a fully functional React Native Expo app pulling real-time data using Ditto's powerful sync capabilities, syncing information real-time to MongoDB Atlas. With that, let's get started. First, let's grab the code from GitHub. Let's open the GitHub repo. There's a link provided in the video description. Next, I'm going to click on the code button and I'm going to grab a link to the repo. You can use SSH, HTTPS, or GitHub's command line interface, whatever you like. For me, I'm using SSH. Next, I'm going to open up my terminal and I'm going to go through and clone the repo. With the code now downloaded, I can open it up in the IDE of choice, which will be Visual Studio Code. Note, you will be able to open up whatever IDE you choose for doing normal React Native development. Make sure when opening the repo in your IDE, you open up the rn-expo folder from the mono repo, which includes code for several platforms that Ditto supports. With the mono repo open in Visual Studio Code, I'm going to use the terminal that's built in and do an npm install command to restore all the packages the demo app uses. Note, this could take several seconds depending on your computer speed and your internet connection. In my IDE, I'm going to open up the dittoService.ts file, which can be found in the source/services folder. You should see after the import statements 4 variables: app ID, token, auth URL, and WebSocket URL. To get these values, I'm going to log into the Ditto portal. The app ID, auth URL, and WebSocket URL can be found under the Big Peer connection information sections. You can use the square icon on the right side to copy the information to the clipboard and then paste it into the dittoServices.ts file for the values. The online playground authentication token can be found under the authentication mode section, which also provides a square icon to copy it to the clipboard. Once the dittoService.ts file has been updated with these values, you can use export command to run in the terminal or your IDE to push the applications to the devices. Remember that you need to have an iOS simulator, Android emulator, or physical device connected to your computer, or Expo won't be able to find the device to install the app on. For Android, I'm going to use my physical Google Pixel 6a phone that's connected to my computer. For iOS, I'm going to use a physical iPhone 13 Pro that I have connected to my computer. Both phones can only connect to the internet using Wi-Fi and do not have cellular service. I'm going to push the app to both the iPhone and Pixel now. Note that the build process can take several minutes depending on your computer speed, and so I'm going to fast forward through this process. Once the app is up and running, you'll notice that it does take a few moments to pull all the movies down from the Ditto Cloud. In order to start an Expo app, you will need to use the npx expo start app to push a development build for both iOS and Android. This can be done by using npx expo run iOS and npx expo run Android. With both apps running and a list of movies showing, we can now make some changes to see the process for updating the transfer from the local devices to the Ditto Cloud and then to MongoDB, and compare that to the time it takes to update devices. I'll start by updating a movie to the year 2025. I'm going to do this on my physical iPhone, which I have connected via QuickTime. I have my physical device here. I'm going to use the edit button up in the toolbar. I'm going to change the year to be 2025. we should notice that instantly the Android device, the Pixel device right next to it, has updated the movie also to 2025. I can get out of this, go into Android, and make the same change. I can go to edit here and change the movie to 2000 or 2020. Let's make it 20. I'm going to go ahead and click the save button. And now we look over in iOS and it's updated to 2020. Now let's look at the Ditto Cloud and MongoDB Atlas to see those changes. To see those changes in Ditto Cloud, we can log into the Ditto Portal. Once in the portal, I can click on the Collections tab. From the Collections tab, click on the View link under Movies. Finally, I can click on the DQL editor to bring up the DQL editor. I now can say select star from movies where year equals 2020 to see our movie. To see the details JSON of I can click on the record. I'm going to copy the _ID field and I'm going to use that to check MongoDB's values. I'm going to use Visual Studio Code in order to check the values of MongoDB Atlas using the MongoDB extension. In the extension, I'm going to browse to the sample MFlix, go to the Movies collection, click on Documents, right-click, and search for Documents. Next, I'm going to use the find function to find any document that matches the ID that we found previously in the Ditto Portal. Finally, I can use the Run button to run this to find the document. Scrolling to the bottom, we can see that the movie has now changed to 2020. Now let's test peer-to-peer syncing by setting up my iPhone to airplane mode. When this happens, the only connection to the phone will be a physical cable and Bluetooth. What we should be able to do is update the movie from the iPhone with no interconnection but still see the change in Ditto Cloud and MongoDB Atlas. Notice how Android updated instantaneously even though my phone is in airplane mode. Now let's go through and check MongoDB Atlas. Notice how the year changed to 2022. How is that possible, you ask? Well, the iPhone connected to the Android device using Bluetooth, and then the Android device, which still had an internet connection, can update the Ditto Cloud, which in turn updates MongoDB Atlas. This is the power of Ditto, enabling offline-first applications with seamless peer-to-peer, cloud sync, and sync into MongoDB Atlas. With a minimum setup, you can build apps that sync instantly, keep devices sync even offline, use Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, and local networks for data transfers, and sync information from the Ditto Cloud to MongoDB Atlas. I want to thank you for watching. I look forward to seeing you in the next video.